right, y'all. We are back. We're back. All right. You guys didn't know, a couple weeks ago, one of the biggest news happened in rugby where all black star and one of the famously known Barrett, is it Bowden brothers? Barrett. Well, yeah. Jordie Barrett. Look, Jordie Barrett, all black, decided to be able to get lent over to Leinster, one of the most powerful teams in the URC, coming out of Ireland, for about 6 months to be able to play over there. And the whole world in rugby went nuts. What craziness? Yo, an all black, and not just like a former all black, not just like a back end all black, guy on his retirement or a low end person, a premium current player, all black, actively is going to be going to Leinster on lend, and it's mind blowing. Now, everybody started losing their mind with it, mainly because of the fact they're like, "Oh my God, he's just going for the money. He's just going out there to get some money." And honestly, that discourse was like legitimately dumb. Like it's legitimately dumb. One, what's wrong with going to get money? Yo, you're already playing professionally, and currently he plays for the Hurricanes, which are the best club in Super Rugby. I think arguably amongst the best clubs in the world. I think Leinster and Hurricanes are 1 and 2 at this, but I don't know which one is which. But this is a guy who's like, he's still in it. He's still young, 27. Oh yeah, he's part of the Barrett brothers. Yeah, the famous Barrett brothers. That's I wanted to make sure I had that right because I wasn't sure. Like that's Bowden Barrett, Scott Barrett, Kane Barrett, Blake Barrett, and Bowden Barrett and Scott and Blake Barrett primarily. But these guys have been really in it. So for him to go to Leinster, which Ireland just, you're already powerful. Like how much more powerful can you get, is a legitimate move. And even if it was for money. But this week he spoke on it a little bit more on what it is that he was actually looking for. And of course, money was an important element that came along with it. There was no doubt. He did absolutely say that. But this was the interesting component of it. Hurricane CEO Avon Lee said that he actually could have made more money in Japan than he would be making in Leinster. And if you guys don't know, Japan Rugby League 1 has been a primary spot for most of like the South Pacific rugby players to go play either on the twilight of their career or, if they want to be able to really make something, during national play. And Japan Rugby League 1 is a fun league. It's a fun league, but it's primarily thought of as the softer one. So people really kind of get a vacation and be able to make money from it. One of the people that we've had on the show, my guy, Eddie Evans, used to play for Japan way back in the 90s and way back in the 90s. And, it is a place where a lot of money has gone, a lot of commerce has gone, and professional rugby probably has the best business model, even though it doesn't have the best rugby, ironically. So a lot of talk about whether he was just going for the money to Leinster kind of got a little bit refuted from what Avon Lee said. So the other factor that I was going to say Bowden, Jordie said, was the fact that he really wanted to have a chance to develop his experiences. And I think that's really significant from the fact that, one, he's obviously in New Zealand, a place that rugby is religion, and a place that has been preeminently set as the mecca of rugby. So for him to go from the Hurricanes, the best professional team in rugby, and the All Blacks, the best or one of the best historically team all time and amongst the top 2 in rugby right now, you are looking to be able to go to a place like Leinster, which means he also plays South Africa, which they're used to playing, but plays the gauntlet of URC. That to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to take a little bit more knowledge and see what I can bring back and improve upon, instead of trying to get for a paid vacation, as they basically call it for Japan Rugby League 1, is really interesting. It's a good way to be able to go about looking at it. And I think that people should support this more. And honestly, I think that as a rugby community, having these lendings more, which is very prominent in like Premiership football and in most soccer stuff, and I'm gonna call it soccer because strong American. But it's not really very well prominent inside rugby, and not so much obviously in many other sports. But I do like it for rugby because one, it allows us to have cross community stories where a star in one element can become a star in another element, and that can be able to help build on both of them. I would love to see this more with U.S. players. Obviously, we got some U.S. players that play in Premiership rugby and they come for national games, but to be able to play in professional leagues and get good players, not just players off the, dropping off, or players that weren't able to make it in the other leagues, but really get good players for a moment, maybe a season, half a season, something like that. I think it would be really, really strong for creating better stories, creating better stars, and allowing the community in front to be able to connect to two clubs at the same time. Especially if you get to like that one player. It's like, oh, they were dope. They're cool to talk to, yada, yada. Oh, now I'm going to follow them over here, but I also got my team over here that I'm also packing into. And now you have a better distribution of attention that can go to it. And it helps build that fan base more and more. And it makes us actually give a crap, especially in the U.S., because we don't give a crap about anybody outside the U.S. typically, especially in rugby, unless you've provided some level of value to us in the U.S., like you provide the value. Now, obviously, Jordie is going to Ireland, and obviously the constitution of the rugby community and the viewership between Ireland and Western Europe and the South Pacific is different than it is with the U.S. and the Americas and basically every other part of the world. But still, the concept is still something that I think is the same. And I hope that this sets a precedent for others to try and do it at the peak of their powers, and that some of the egos of the owners aren't so heavy to prevent it. Because you know what? Honestly, sometimes makes me even question, like, why would they even have a problem with it? We look at something like the URC, right? And they had the European Championship. Like, we're looking at teams like France from top 14 that don't send their best players for that. Or we looked at big issue was the Blues playing against, I think it was Leinster or Northampton or whatever a few weeks ago, and sending their C team up there, or Leinster now going down to South Africa and they sent their C team. So in conversations, it doesn't seem like there's that huge element of like, oh, we need to have our best players so that we can win. Well, if you're not worried about having your best players and it's only just about the team, then lend them out. Let them build their stardom across the board, and then bring them back and be able to make your money off of that, and can be another means of being able to create a revenue source for yourself and jump along with it. So I don't know. It's just one element where, like I said, it makes me go, this needs to be copied, but I need you guys to be consistent in what you want from your stars and exactly how you want them to be displayed, because how that goes allows the success of this concept to be able to provide on. But that's my thoughts, man. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about this Jordie Barrett move and his reasonings for it? I know that the move has been in conversations for a minute, but his reasonings behind it. What do you think that means for rugby as a whole and its ability to be able to build out? I want to know more. Let me know in the comments.
We're taking dumplings to a new level. My name is Gifte Belu. I'm here with Health Enhanced Foods, and I want to introduce you to one of our most popular products, dumpling flour. What makes our dumpling flour so popular is that it is a mix of unrefined super flours that create the maximum level of nourishment for your personal dumplings. This is including mixes like buckwheat, sunflower, flax seeds, everything that helps to be able to make your appetite stronger, more fulfilled, and healthier. Including within that, we have no added sugars, so we want to make sure that it is rich in protein, rich in fiber, and rich in vitamins and minerals. Our dumpling flour is diabetic friendly, high in quality gluten-free mixes with no rice. And if you know, you know. There's always a little bit of rice to be able to stabilize it. Not here in our dumpling flour. It is naturally nourishing. And of course, it's a great substitute for wheat-based dumplings. With this gluten-free dumpling, you can now make your croissants, you can make your rice dumplings, you can make your dessert dumplings. You can absolutely find this at healthenhancedfoods.com. Go ahead, get yourself a bag, get yourself a pallet, and make sure that you can fulfill for your people and yourself the way that you really deserve it. Don't wait, let's go.